Characters are starting to pile on, aren't they? What I'm saying is that the player doesn't need all this complicated and tedious dialogue. There should be more action and fewer questions. I'm Zacharie, the traditional items merchant that's necessary to any video game. I'll often find myself in places you're going to visit before you. But enough talk. I'm here to find out. Can you beat Fallout New Vegas as Zacharie from Off? This is going to be a unique challenge run where I custom tailor the rules to fit the character I'm playing best. First of all, no courier stash weapons or armor. It's basically a cheat code for the early game. Second, I won't be allowing myself to wear any medium or heavy armor, and my armor I usually wear should try and match Zacharie, including the mask. Of course, that's a bit hard. There aren't exactly very many heart-shaped t-shirts in New Vegas, but I tried. And the rules also extend to the weapons we're allowed to use. We can only use any swords or blades as melee weapons. This includes machetes, the bumper swords, the blade of the west, the katana, and the shish kebabs. This does not include knives as they're too short, any blunt or barbed melee weapons, or any automatic melee weapons like the chainsaw. And I'll also be setting my special stats to match Zacharie. And lastly is the challenges we need to complete. We need to complete 3 of the 4 main DLCs before the Battle of Hoover Dam. These 3 are Honest Hearts, Old World Blues, and Lonesome Road. Dead Money doesn't count because there's not a weapon we can use. Oh, and we're also playing on very hard mode. Alright, with the rules out of the way, let's distribute our special stats. I try to make these match Zacharie as closely as possible, as I've said. 6 Strength due to his focus on melee, 9 Perception because he not only knows of the player, but he also knows that he's in a video game. 4 Endurance just because I needed other stats to boost. 4 Charisma, because while he is charming to the player, I can imagine he comes off as a bit of a creep to the Elsen or the citizens. 3 Intelligence, because of when he tried to trick the batter in Zone 3 and failed horribly. You could argue it should be higher because he knows the world is a video game, but that makes much more sense for Perception to me. And lastly, Average Agility and 9 Luck. Considering he's the only character in the game to not get purified or killed, he's got to be insanely lucky. For my tag skills, I choose barter and melee weapons, rather obviously, and speech because I did mention Zacharie's still charming to the player. As for traits, I choose Wild Wasteland because I think he'd definitely have some fun with that, and Built to Destroy because I have 9 luck already. I couldn't really find a more fitting trait. Regardless, we can now go off into the wasteland. I immediately bee-hop to the shack outside of Goodsprings for the machete. It's the only weapon we can use in the early game. Anyway, I try to test it out on some rad scorpions and instantly lose almost half my health. Honestly, I should have expected that. So instead, I go to Goodsprings Cave and deal with the coyotes there, and while they do mob me a bit, they go down much easier. I slurk up on some water and head on out, but something strange happens when I exit the cave. For some reason, both Ghost Town Gunfight and Back in the Saddle are auto-failed. I have no idea why. My only guess is that a bighorn got bored and killed Sunny Smiles. Regardless, I go into Gene skydiving, get some more loot, and I feel like I should mention that the durability on the machete is garbage. I've already burned through 4 of my weapon repair kits you start with. Also, I forgot the weapon repair kit here, so I don't know why I'm mentioning it now. I continue on my journey to Prim because there is no fucking way I'm getting past the Deathclaws and Sloan, and I continue to grind for some more XP, killing any gecko who dares to show himself in front of my hideous maskless face. Then we get to Prim, and I steal the ammo from the NCR because I like theft, and I kill the convicts outside of the Vicky and Vance Casino. I don't bother with the Bison Steve Hotel because of my low endurance and machete durability. I also get a new outfit that looks, a bit closer to Zacharie's outfit. On the way over to the Mojave outpost, I kill some more raiders that were just in the way, and almost die to a feral ghoul. And there's also this place with this raider that just refuses to die. I end up stun-locking her in a corner, thanks New Vegas Jank. I also get some leather armor that, again, looks ever so slightly closer to Zacharie's outfit. And I level up and become a homosexual. Because of how much the batter was shipped with Zacharie in the early days of Off's fandom, I think this makes sense. Also, don't comment about Sugar, I forgot about her. I run past the rad scorpions by the outpost because I remember what happened in Goodsprings, and I sell my loot to the traveling merchants, but my machete is already almost broken. I'm definitely going to need a new weapon. But that's okay. I know exactly where to get one. Nothing bad ever happens in the Divide. Now, like I said, the Shish Kebab and Blade of the West are allowed for this challenge run, and both of them are carried by the Markmen. One small problem. I'm doing the hardest DLC in the game, the one where you're recommended to be at level 25, at level 2. But I didn't intend to do the whole thing. I meant to do this Vegas style, pun absolutely intended. Run in, get a weapon, run out. But before we even get to the marked men, we have to deal with the sentry bots. And before even that, I get my armor and machete repaired. The first sentry bot instantly kills me with 2 missiles. You might think I would have left after this, but I am many things. A quitter, a moron, someone with horrible short-term memory, but a quitter is not one of these. And so, I use my lockpick skill to open the desk and get the passcode to shut it off. Now I just need to deal with the second one. I just let Eddie take care of him. He's a great damage dealer whenever he isn't wandering aimlessly on the second floor for some fucking reason. Once he does function properly, I barely managed to kill the sentry bot. And now we have to deal with like 6 of them at once. Okay, my plan for this was simple. Close the door that immediately opens to block half of the sentry bots, then deal with the ones that try and flank me. Eddie takes a very long time to kill them, and my machete is basically nothing to them. I'm essentially moral support for all the difference it makes. But then, I finally kill them, and by me I mean Eddie, and I go down to repair my machete again, and the game crashes. Thank fucking God I quick-saved. Okay, so my plan for the second wave had to be different. Instead of slowly and painfully trying to whittle them down, I just take loads of drugs and run past them all. Twice as easy. Now we meet Ulysses, and we tell him to shove it up his ass before reaching level 4. I didn't have any good perks available, I just chose intense training and row strength. Honestly, I regret not taking agility for reasons you'll see later. Now, we can fight the marked men. The first one fortunately just has a flare gun, but that alone is enough to almost kill me. The second one just has an arc welder and gets distracted by Eddie for a while, but I accidentally knock Eddie unconscious and have to deal with the marked men by my own. But it's a fucking arc welder, I'm not that bad at this game. Eddie comes back alive, and I tried to deal with the guys in the building with the auto dock. This guy's fire axe is enough to take out half my health even with a block, so we'll need to play hyper aggressive and take it out of his hands immediately. And when I do that, the other guy comes up behind me and instantly kills me with an assault carbine, so nope, not doing that building. But eventually, in one of the barracks, I found the jackpot. One of the marked men was carrying a Blade of the West. Problem: there's 2 other marked men in there, one of which has a sniper rifle. I try to rush the one with the blade, the sniper kills me. I try to rush the one with the sniper, the other 2 kill Eddie and chop me up. It turns out the solution was to spam VATS on the guy with the Blade of the West and hope to God it cripples at least one of his limbs. And when it did, I immediately picked up the sword and left it to autosave. But we finally did it. We got the Blade of the West. And so I tested out on the ones that just killed me like 5 times over, and I turned them into minced meat. Good lord, this is powerful. I sell the loot they have, test it out on a few more marked men, and finally leave the divide. Jesus Christ, that was brutal. But it was worth it. We just got one of, if not the best weapon for this run. Now, back in the Mojave, as the natives called it, the Pack Alpha turns into a Pack Beta once he sees my diamond sword. Actually, can I even make that joke? And I meet... him. For your viewing safety, the following footage has been omitted. After doing unspeakable things to him, I steal his clothes. At least I look a little more like a traitor now. I head over to Nipton, get interrupted by a bunch of jackals. While my DPS was obviously fine, my health and defense were a bit lacking, to say the least. I had to take lots of drugs and make them form an orderly queue to get dice. Very effective strategy, mostly because of the drugs. Once we reach Nipton, I watch the stupidest character in the entire Fallout franchise die, kill this random man, get more star caps, and decide to congratulate Oliver Swanwick winning the lottery by letting him become an astronaut. Anyway, I attend the worst furry convention since 2015, tell the NCR about it, and go on over to Novak by climbing up the cliff to the side. On the way there, I go over to kill some more easy raiders for free XP, and one of them has a fucking grenade rifle and instantly kills me. But after leveling up and taking the Bloody Mess perk, I see Dinky the dinosaur in the distance. I can tell we've made it to Novak. I actually skipped the Come Fly With Me challenge, even though Davidson has a bumper sword which I can use to repair mine. I'm not actually a big fan of it, which may be in part due to bad memories from how many saves it corrupted on my old computer. Anyway, if I skip that quest, I'll need more XP, so I find some more raiders. Oh my fucking god, you're kidding me. Another grenade rifle. Okay, I keep at least 20 meters clear of that place and head over to Boulder City, where I tell the cons that the NCR is based in Wholesome 100 and they agree, letting me level up to level 7. I have to tell Monroe that killing innocent people is bad because the NCR is fucking stupid, and I go over to Martuver Dam and then make my way to the Strip. In Freeside, I buy a katana and naughty nightwear from Mick and Ralph's. The katana is obvious, and the naughty nightwear is to boost our luck to 10, making gambling an extremely efficient method of making money. I spam W on blackjack until I'm close to hitting the jackpot limit, and then switch to slots. The jackpot limit isn't hard say, and you can go over it if the roll you made was just under it. And due to how huge the returns on the slot are, I try to go as far over the limit as possible. Fortunately, I get 3 lemons, which is 1,600 caps, and go 1,100 over the limit. Nice. With all my new money, I make it onto the Strip and decide to take care of a loose end. See, I'm a tad miffed at Benny after the whole shooting me in the head thing, so I thought I'd have a civil conversation with him where I can discuss a compromise for him to give me the platinum chip and we can both move on with our lives. He told me to suck a lemon, so fuck that, he dies. I also got his suit, which will be my main armor piece for the rest of the video, as it's black and white, and I leveled up again, taking the Super Sniper, which will be incredibly valuable, providing a stun against nearly every enemy. I also start to level up unarmed for Piercing Strike and Slayer, which will both be insanely valuable, even more than Super Slam. Now I do some more gambling at the tops. Nothing much to commentate on, I just spam W. Although, I shit you not, the literal first time I do the slots, I get 3 grapes, which is a 4,500 return, setting me 3,000 caps over the limit. Holy shit. I don't know how unlikely that is, but that was incredibly lucky. After that, I go over to the Ultra Lux and... Oh! Those are some nice masks you got there. It'd sure be a shame if, say, someone murdered you all out of jealousy for those masks because they look exactly like mine. Anyway, every single one of the white gloves mysteriously died due to natural causes. Although I certainly would give clues on what could have possibly killed them, I instead take the opportunity to take their masks. They fit me, can you really blame me? I mean, it's not like I killed them for it. That would be absurd. And if for some reason I did, which I didn't, they deserved it. After leaving the scene, I enter the Lucky 38 and talk to Mr. House, who will be who we're siding with for this run. I figure House is the most likely person Zacharie would side with, as either A, it's the closest thing to a canon ending New Vegas has, or B, Zacharie has a similar goal of getting money, and thinks working for House would be nice. I give him the chip, sit through the presentation, and get the snow globe in the cocktail lounge for free caps. Now that I'm rich and masked, I go over to kill the ants outside the Mojave outpost, for some reason. I don't know why I waited so long to do this quest, but I get to try out my katana at least. I also flirt with this man to get better repairs. And then I put my hard-earned money to good use by buying a load of implants at a New Vegas clinic. I only have an endurance of 4, so we'll need to make these count. I boost endurance, intelligence, luck, and agility. I think I could have chosen a 5th one since I increased my endurance to 5, but there's not much I could have chosen. This also gets me to level 10, and I take the finesse perk, which drastically increases my crit chance. So now, I finally go back to clear out Prim of the Convicts, let Deputy Bagel out, and get the NCR in charge of Prim. I would have chosen Prim Slim if I could have, but my science was too low, even with a magazine. I still have caps to spare, so I decide to spend them on Gehenna, the unique shish kebab for the game, and good lord is it powerful. Now that I pretty much have all the weapons I'll need, I decide to go ahead and clear out one of our DLCs early. It's time to do Old World Blues, and the mole rats just outside already roughed me up good. Oh god, this is gonna be rough, isn't it? Of course, we'll need to mash through dialogue to get to actually playing the DLC, because the writer's Parkinson's prescription wasn't filled. And now, I venture out into the Big Mountain, in order to obtain all the technologies, kill some lobotomites, and find my brain. There really isn't all that much to talk about in Old World Blues, unfortunately. It's mostly just going around the crater and obtaining all of the stuff for the think tank, and while it is a fun DLC, it gets repetitive real quick. Of course, some funny stuff does still happen, like me getting mobbed repeatedly by the Night Stalker testing facility, the loads of scorpions, the evil Dr. Dr. Morbius sends after me, and the occasional funny ragdoll. Though sometimes the dogs turn me into a funny ragdoll, which stuns me, and that's very annoying because I'd like to play the game I spent $30 on. I also took Piercing Strike during this time. Now it's time to kill a very big dog and an even bigger Robo-Scorpion, and whoops, I forgot he exploded. So I kill him again. Fuck. I kill him again. Fuck. I kill him again. And I confront the evil Dr. Morbius, tell him he's old, flirt with my own brain, get him back in my head, and kill the Tink Tank. Now I just wait for 9 fucking minutes because this outro cutscene is way too goddamn long, and we're back in the Mojave with real, non-artificial air and a brain. The first thing I do is to make sure House wasn't wondering where I went by installing the Platinum chip into the bunker. I just run past most of the robots, it's not worth it to melee them, especially when they explode on death. So I get it installed, report back to Caesar for free XP, and then talk to House for my next assignment. He wants me to take care of the boomers, but I have different plans. I decide to immediately do my second DLC, Honest Hearts. And it sure is Honest Hearts. There's even less to talk about here than with Old World Blues. Commit an ethnic cleansing towards white people, hunt down some bears, get some maps or shit, and general gobbledygook dies. I can't even talk about it if I wanted to, because the footage is incredibly laggy. I tried using OBS because my regular recording software wasn't working, but it didn't do much better. I hope you know why I don't record with OBS now. Anyway, I also took a few perks, such as better criticals for even more crit damage, and another tier of intense training, getting our agility to 7, and putting us over the threshold to get the Slayer perk. I also can't use any of the weapons here, but I can use the shish kebabs to repair Gehenna. Anyway, once I leave Zion, I decide to get some more XP to finally get the Slayer perk. First spot is Black Mountain to do the crazy quest. We don't talk about Black Mountain. First spot is Freeside to do the GI Blues quest. It's fairly standard stuff. Kill a phony, ask professional wrestlers about attacks, get free food, and kill the NCR. But wait a minute, kill the NCR? Yeah, it didn't give me the option to talk it out, so I guess I gotta kill him. Once it's done, I get a whopping 1200 XP, and I don't even level up. Wonderful. Okay, so now I decided to do some work for the Garretts, starting with collecting their dead. Santiago folds upon the first threat I give him, the fucking coward. Lady Jane forks up the caps because I'm not a moron, and the other guy is scared of me and gives me all of his lunch money. Now I can go on the strip to kill McCafferty. No one particularly cared. Now I leveled up to 23, only 1 level left. So now I recruit some escorts for James. Beatrix takes a bit of time to convince Santiago folds immediately again, and Fisto takes a bit thanks to Ralph's routine taking some time. And now we're not even level 24. But I decide, fuck it, close enough, and pop back into Lonesome Road. I'm not just here for a weapon this time, I'm here to finish the whole thing. The guy with the red glare and the ones following after him weren't tough at all. I guess it's because this is a bit of a linear environment for Lonesome Road, but it's still nice that we're starting off so smoothly, especially considering how much I struggled in the early game. Anyway, I get the laser detonator, make my way forward, and for some fucking reason this guy is immortal. I have no idea why he wasn't getting hit. Well, he wasn't all that challenging despite his incorporeality. The same cannot be said for Blister's boys. I didn't actually die from them at all, but they did bring me down to very low health, especially because of the fire's DOT. The guy in the back with the tri-beam was a bit scary, but he got distracted by Eddie, and I was able to flank up on him and backstab him in the back. Then I one-tapped the cutscene Deathclaw and just b-hop my way to the high road. I don't want to deal with the tunnelers right now, and this is faster, so yeah, I just skipped them. And now we're on the high road. Beast didn't cause me any trouble, but I had to wait 3 years for A to open the fucking commissary because I was over encumbered. I say hi to Ulysses, blow some nerds up, and die to satchel charges. These are a very big problem in this DLC. I don't have a weapon that can remove them efficiently, so I either need to avoid them entirely or try and bait them out. The fuse time is too short to disarm them in time before I instantly died, so I can only back off and pray to God I live the explosion. Fortunately, the first one is right next to a bed, so I don't get punished for setting it off. And now we can progress through the rest of the high road, and I'm really starting to understand just how strong I am. I'm able to handle the death claws pretty easily. I only died to them once. The combination of Piercing Strike, Super Slam, and Purifier really just makes them crumble. Now I make it to the end of the high road, and my reward is dying to satchel charges. Again. Okay, I tried out some rushing water on Bonesaw and his boys, and they got eviscerated. I don't even have the Slayer perk yet, but that's not an issue for long. Once I launch the nuke, I get level 24, and unlock the best perk for this run. Oh, and don't ask about the Courier's Mile, you don't want to know what happened with it. The elevator ride was piss easy. I just spawn killed each and every tunneler, and it was over in a matter of minutes. It was kind of annoying with the constant explosions triggering a screen shake, but it wasn't hard in the slightest. Anyway, we make it into the divide proper, and oh god, this is where the difficulty gets cranked up to 14. We're now in a wide open area with plenty of opportunities for me to get sniped. On top of that, satchel charges are even more plentiful here, and I even get soft lock from a poorly timed quick save early on. These nerds down below are easy to snipe with a laser detonator, but I have nothing for the other ones, which is kind of a problem when one of them has a missile launcher. Anyway, after barely handling those fuckers, I watch Eddie kill a group of 3 because satchel charges, and I make it into the tunneler's cave, and I ignore every single one because I'm not prepared for them. But they do put me at low health. Maybe I should peek back out to use the auto dock. Hey guys, what's going on over here? And now for the final, hardest part of the divide. And we have to do it without Eddie. First up, 2 Death Claws. While a Death Claw on its own isn't tough, 2 of them at once is too much for me to handle. It turns out the solution is lots of drugs. It's the answer to all of life's problems, really. The drugs last a while longer, enough to get repeatedly sniped by the marksmen. A lot. And the fucking satchel charges again. I try my hardest to avoid them as much as possible, and go into the cave with a Wasteland Survival Guide and kill Blade. My Blade is better than Blade's Blade, and Blade falls to my Blade, as do the rest of the marksmen. I use Blade's Blade to repair my Blade, and with my Strengthened Blade thanks to Blade's Blade, I can clear out the rest of the way to Ulysses' Temple, and die a lot to the marksmen there. But after clearing them out, Night Martin, do you mind? I'm trying to talk here. I make it into Ulysses' Temple, rescue Eddie, and now we can finish this once and for all. I never actually died to anything, but Ulysses took a damn long time to take down. The medical Ibots provide absurd healing rates, and even a weapon with as high of a DPS as the Blade of the West can outdamage his healing. But like I said, I never died. I killed him first try, dealt with the marksmen, and played the Enlightened Centrist by blowing up both the NCR and the Legion, damning them all to hell. I take a nice whiff of the fresh explosions, increase my intelligence, and it turns out the boomers really like that. Oh right, the boomers. Getting through their barrage was easy enough, and healing some patients and listening to the kid was enough to get my reputation up to the minimum level, thanks to rushing Lonesome Road. I talked to Pearl, talked to Loyal, talked to Jack, kid killed by lake lurks, and bring the bomber up. I report back to House about the boomers, and he wants me to take care of the Omerta's plans. I think the Omerta quest sucks, so I kill every last one of them. Not like anyone cares, they're sex traffickers and rapists. Oh wait, House cares. Damn it. Well, now that he knows my style of play, he wants me to go crazy murder hobo on the Brotherhood of Steel. I decided to play a bit reserved with my murderiness, and don't hack them to pieces on sight. I let them give me my stuff back, tell the ranger about them, and they try to kill me, but I kill them first. Now we can take care of the rest of the bunker, which was such a pain. The Brotherhood has some of the strongest gear in the base game, especially the Gauss rifles. They pretty much one-shot me no matter what. Fortunately, the turrets don't activate for some reason, so I can reasonably clear out the bunker, including Elder Mac and Cheese, Paladin Hardwood, and Scribe Shoelace. I set the bunker to self-destruct, and the spirits of the Indian burial ground this bunker was built on helped me escape. And the Brotherhood of Steel is no more. Now I just need to set up the substation, and we're ready to take on the Battle of Hoover Dam. This certainly was quite a battle. I forgot to restock on stim packs before the fight, so I'll need to try and conserve them as best as I can. At least I say that, but this specific group of legionaries gives me such a pain in the back. I die to them a lot, and they force me to use the last 2 normal stim packs I have. Once inside, things get so much better. Obviously, my melee build with low endurance and damage threshold will perform best in close quarters. I sent some more NCR boys to the moon along with Oliver Swanik, install the chip into the dam, power up the dam, and leave to see if the boomers have destroyed everything as I make my way to the Legates camp. There's nothing much left to challenge me before Lanius, so I load up on drugs and instantly stunlock him with Super Slam, destroying him early. Wow, that was really anticlimactic. Well, I take his blade, as it's a better version of my blade, even after being improved by Blade's blade. And while his blade isn't enough to destroy the rest of the Legion, some more drugs never hurt anyone. I mean, they did, but they never hurt me. And so, I trip out even more as I watch General Olive Oil's slow-ass walk animation, kill his rangers, and prove that yes, you can beat Fallout New Vegas as Zacharie from Awe. This was a hell of a fun challenge run. While this was a very unoptimal build, considering my horrible armor and endurance and having only melee weapons, I still had a lot of fun with it. I have plans to do a similar challenge run for at least 2 other off characters, and I may have something in store for fan-game characters, but there's nothing concrete now. As for how hard this challenge run was, I don't really know how to compare it to difficulty of my other runs, as this required a lot more mechanical skill compared to them, but it was a lot less punishing from being able to quick save at any possible time. The next few challenge runs of other characters will hopefully be a lot more difficult. Also, this video took a very long time to record and release. I had to upload a lot of filler content in the meantime, but I'm glad I have something relevant to post again. Like I said, my next full-length video on the new challenge runs is going to be a review of the new release of Off once August 15th hits. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.